Hey everyone, Irit here with another process video for Shimmerz, and unfortunately this will be my last project as part of the Shimmerz creative team. I've been on the team for 2 years. I love the products, I love the owners of the company, the team has been fantastic, great atmosphere and very creative, but I feel it's time for a change. I need to step down and give my spot to someone fresh with new ideas, and of course I will still be here on YouTube, so don't worry about that. And I had to go with rainbow colors because that's what makes me happy. So I'm working here in my watercolor sketchbook. I showed this in a recent haul video. I got it at my local art store. You can use whatever watercolor sketchbook or paper that you have. You can create something similar on just a piece of watercolor paper. You don't need to do this in a journal, but of course you can use a journal if you like to art journal, and I do. And with whatever you use, I recommend either, some mixed media paper or watercolor paper, something that can handle a lot of liquid, because we're going to be spraying lots and lots of pretty colors. So just to add some interest, I'm adding some tape here, and the one with the backing is from Jane Davenport, and then the regular one is from Dina Wakley. And you will see as I start to add the colors that these two tapes react very differently to the sprays. So the Dina Wakley ones resist more the sprays, and then the Jane Davenport one are more absorbent. So there's no right or wrong here. It just depends on what look you want, and just be aware of how your products behave. And this is actually my trial run, I would say, because this won't be my finished project, as you will see, but I thought it would be fun to show you my entire process so you can see how this happened. And this is kind of, in chronological order. So I started from this, and then I moved on to the next one, which will be my finished page. And I'm using, of course, my favorite colors from the Shimmerz selection of goodies, mostly Coloringz, a few Vibez, rainbow, happy, bright colors. And these weird things I'm using are actually my handmade stamps that I created from regular foam that I had on hand. I ordered these piles of foam from Amazon, and I mostly use them as dimensional adhesive for my scrapbook layouts, but I thought it would be fun to try and make something from them, and I didn't want to buy the special foam for stamp carving and all that stuff. I really wanted to do something simple. I didn't want to buy anything extra. I didn't want to wait. I just wanted to make this now and see what happens, and you can see it works rather well, I think. You have to be a little bit careful because it does absorb a little bit of the paint, so you get all kinds of weird color combinations. It's a little bit hard to clean it completely because, it's foam and it's absorbent. So I'm not sure how the special stamp foam responds. I can only attest to this one. So it's a little bit of a learning curve, and yeah, but it's so much fun. And I'm just playing. So hopefully I'll show you in a future video somewhere in the web space how I made these, but they are just super simple. Just cut a few shapes, glue them on another piece of foam, and that's it. Now I decided to pull out a stencil, and this one is one of my favorites from the Dilutions line, and I especially like that circle pattern that it has. So the reason this didn't end up as my finished piece is because I think I took it a bit too far for my liking. I like some white space, and because I had all kinds of colors already on my homemade stamps, I also got some mixtures there that I wasn't intending to get. Some like a few more muted blues and purples that just weren't working with my happy, bright rainbow concept that I had in mind. So every now and again you see me sticking that stencil on the next page, and that's because I didn't want to waste all the ink that was on it, but I also didn't want to add more to my page. So that's why I keep sticking it there. And yeah, it just went a little bit too far. So now you can see with these tapes that I used that the Jane Davenport one really soak up all the paint, and they became really, you know, color drenched and intense and a little bit muddy because I kept using like all these colors. And then the Dina Wakley ones resisted most of my mists. So there's no right or wrong. It's just, you know what your products do and know how they behave and use it to your advantage. And now I figured it was time to add some, I don't know, doodles, scribbles, detail, and my go-to tool for these days is this Stabilo pencil. It's water soluble, and I just love it. I also have a black one, and that one is more dramatic. But the graphite one I find has, you know, you can still add some detail with it, and also play with water when you activate it with the water. But it's not too dramatic. So I decided, okay, let's try again. That was getting a little bit too messy. So this time I think I left the stamps aside because I didn't want those unwanted color mixes. And now I'm just using a few stencils. So I have that Dilution stencil from before and this gorgeous stencil from Tim Holtz. It has roses on it. I'm not sure how it's called, but I just love that pattern. And I'm just using my go-to colors. The pinks are Pretty in Pink and Pink Stiletto. The Pretty in Pink is a little bit warmer. The Pink Stiletto that I'm spritzing now is a little bit, you know, cooler. And the yellow is No Yolkin, my go-to bright, gorgeous yellow. And then I have Don't Citron Me, that's the lime green. And that gorgeous teal color is, I want to say, Oh Say Can You See? I think that's it. But I'll leave all the details in the blog post so you can check that out. And yeah, you'll see this is my idea of having fun in my art journal, and this is so easy. You really don't need any skill to do this. Just need a few stencils, which if you don't have, you know, store-bought stencils, you can totally make your own. Just use a punch or a craft knife, or just cut a few shapes, or use found objects as stencils or stamps. There's so many ideas. Or if you do have some store-bought ones, then pull out a couple. Don't go too crazy. I think I used here 3, and I would say probably I wouldn't want to use more than that because it starts to get hectic. Maybe even 3 were a little bit too much, but you know, I kept them kind of different, so everything has its own kind of unique look to it. And when in doubt, use splatters. So I'm just using a ton of splatters. I love splatters. I love the messy look. You can see this is super messy. And this can be, you know, you can make collage papers like this. You can work in your art journal. You can make this into a messy scrapbook background. Whatever, you know, you come up with, your imagination is the only limitation here. Yeah, just going crazy with those splatters. I add them a little bit randomly, but also I tend to go really heavy with splatters on areas that maybe look a little bit awkward to me. Sometimes there are areas between stencils or somewhere on your page where it's kind of, you're not sure what's happening there, or they attract your eye but not in a good way. Maybe the contrast is too strong or something like that. So I just go crazy with splatters there. And that's going to be kind of it with the crazy spraying part. And now I decided to just add a nice frame around with a black pen. And from here on out, you can decide what you want to do with this. So you can add your journaling, you can paint something as a focal point, you can leave it as it is. You know, I've done that. It's fun to have just happy, messy pages in your journal. But I decided to add a focal point, and I'm just going to make life easy for myself and use cute photos that I have printed out a while back and never got to use. So this is kind of like a scrapbook layout in my art journal. Don't stick to definitions too much. I just go with the flow, and that's what I felt like doing. I'm going to keep this very minimal. I'm going to back my photos, that was Ella, back my photos with some pattern papers from one of the Paige Evans collections. If you feel like it, go dig into your scrapbook supplies and add, you can add ephemera, embellishments, whatever you want. I felt there was enough going on. This was pretty colorful as it is. So I just left it like that. What I did add is I added this handmade bookmark or journal mark, I'm going to call it. And you'll see that soon. And I just thought it was fun to stick it in there. Obviously, you can use something like that for, as a real bookmark in your books, in your planner, in your journal. You can make something like I made here and on just a regular piece of paper, and then cut a bunch of bookmarks from it, give it as gifts, make tags. So many possibilities, so many ideas. So I'm going to add my journaling at the center of that flower that I have there. Just a few words about Ella. And that's it. So yeah, as I said, this is my last project as part of the Shimmerz team. Again, the team has been wonderful, and I just feel like I need a change for 2018. So there are some things in the works, new things for me, definitely, some new classes coming, and yeah, stay tuned. Probably YouTube is the best place to keep up with me, and also you can sign up for my newsletter. I email about everything exciting and never spam. If you place an order on the Shimmerz website, don't forget to mention my name and get a freebie. This is my finished project. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you feel inspired to make something similar. Have fun with your mixed media goodies, and I wish you a wonderful new year. Thanks for watching. Bye.